afternoon.
Welcome to the Must Love Yarn podcast. It is Thursday,
August 23rd.
23rd. Yep, I almost said the 22nd, and I was like, no, that's not right. That was yesterday. August 23rd, and here is August marching itself right along.
I know, it's almost over. I don't know where the first part of August seriously went. It just is like gone. My husband's birthday came, and thankfully I had like an idea ahead of time, and I was like panicking. I'm like, oh my god, I'm okay. See, I'm already derailing us.
That's all right.
Anyway, this is the Must Love Yarn podcast.
And we're coming to you from our yarn store in Shelburne, Vermont, where we sell all sorts of yarn, needles, and fiber and yarn related things.
It's kind of, you can see some of it kind of.
Yeah.
We're in the very back in the classroom area,
Yeah.
and we face back towards the back of the store.
Yep.
So. Oops, I'm throwing stitch markers at you.
Okay. Well, there's worse things, I suppose, you could be throwing at me. So, you can find the store out on all forms of social media as Must Love Yarn.
Yep.
So Instagram, Ravelry, Facebook, Twitter, but Ravelry, Facebook, and Instagram are probably the most active. Twitter just kind of hangs out, and then when like I put a video on YouTube, it pushes out to
and
everything.
I have it set so that whenever we post on Instagram, it automatically populates to Twitter.
There's no independent tweeters going on here.
No,
on Twitter.
I've never really been active on Twitter.
No, not really. I prefer Instagram where I can see things and then.
I'm so sick of all the spammers on Instagram though lately.
Oh my god, yeah. I didn't know if it was just because I started blocking and reporting them that all of a sudden, but there's been a ton.
Everybody's been complaining, especially in the knitting world, because I think they're following like the knitting hashtag and other knitting hashtags. So if you guys are on Instagram at all, you'll see it. And I've been looking at people before I just click the follow back button.
Yep, me
because
too.
if you look at the pictures they're posting, there's a lot of them of Stephanie Pearl McPhee they're stealing. There's a lot of them of Stephen West they're stealing. So if I see any of those in there and I click on it and it's got all these like silly hashtags after, I'm like, nope, spammer, and I just report them and block them. And it's at least one or two a day.
Yeah. No, it's been crazy.
Yeah, it's awful.
Recently. So, and I'm Angela.
And I'm Kelly.
And
so you are derailed again.
And you can follow me out on social media as long as you're not a spammer, because if you're a spammer, I'll block you.
Right.
You can follow me on Instagram and Ravelry as Junior Bird Kid.
And you can find me on Instagram as Kelly O Spins, and you can find me on Ravelry as Kelly Spins.
Yep.
And definitely, like Ange said, feel free to follow us, friend us.
Spammer.
Yeah, unless you're a spammer, but then you probably aren't watching us anyway.
Watch our podcast.
I think a lot of them are just auto-generated.
They're Autobots.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Yep.
I don't know what their purpose is other than to annoy us, but
I don't know. It's just weird.
It is really weird.
Really weird. So we like to start our podcast with a couple picks of the week. So the way that works is Kelly and I each pick something. Though this week Kelly picked both of them because I was sending her text messages like,
And just having a long week.
Yeah, that would be true. That a couple products that yarns or other things that we want to showcase or introduce you to. And
we're getting a lot of our new fall yarns in, so we've got some new ones that we're going to
exciting.
start kind of showing you through the picks of the week.
Yep. And what happens is we give you a coupon code in between the two items, and with that code you can get 10% off.
And I know what coupon code we can use.
Oh, perfect.
I know.
Even
I'm
better.
just on top of it today.
People are going to think that we should take more vacations. Back and we're on top of
No,
things.
because they like when they sit here and we're like,
what
we
should we do? So we give you 10% off for 2 weeks following the initial airing of this particular podcast.
Yep, and we had some people who weren't sure where the coupon code goes. So in episode 73, we've got a little video tutorial showing you where that coupon code goes.
Yep.
We can't do refunds if it doesn't show up in your cart. So make sure when you're at checkout, it shows up as a 10% discount, because it will show in that page right before you click submit payment.
I think if you're doing PayPal, it's a little different sequence.
Yeah.
A couple of them have a different sequence, but there's clearly a spot for the coupon code on one of the screens.
Yeah.
The only pay system that won't take a coupon code now is Apple Pay because of how it gets processed. So that's the only one. Sorry.
Yeah, so you have to use, credit card or PayPal for checkout.
Yep.
If you want to use the coupon code, that is.
Yep.
And you can only do one coupon code at a time. So unfortunately, if because our weeks overlap for coupon codes, you'd have to do 2 separate transactions if there was something from last week and then something from this week that you wanted.
Yeah.
So just be sure, if you're not sure, check out episode 73, and also feel free to send us a message or call the store if you have any questions.
I'm just laughing because it just ask us how we know you can only use one coupon code. That was a coupon code debacle a while back.
It's a learning experience.
It's all a learning experience. So Kelly, what did you pick out for me today? I see some really pretty yarn down here, and I'm assuming this is it.
Yes, it's called Euro Yarns Fair Isle. It is a worsted weight self-striping sock yarn. So it is merino and nylon, or wool and nylon, superwash wool and nylon. And you can use it. It's great for baby stuff. It's great for socks. So if you want to do like a nice boot sock, I made a lot of worsted weight socks for my husband, and they're fabulous, like boot socks for him, and he loves those. So we've got 6 colors, and there's more than this, but these were the prettiest ones that they had to offer to us. So some good for guys, some good for girls. So and there are, when you go to our website, so when you click on the link, it'll actually show swatches of these knit up.
Cool.
And these are the ones that have, you can see the little dotted sections in the yarn, and so it'll make like little blocks.
Fair Isles.
So it'll look like little Fair Isle.
So this is a 246 yard put up, so that's pretty good. It's 150 gram skein.
Yep. So you can get a pair of socks from these. They won't have a really long leg on them, but if you wanted like a taller boot sock, you'd want 2.
Okay.
But just for kind of a standard pair of socks, you can get
shorty socks or slippers or something.
Yep. You'd be fine with a skein.
So and these retail for $19.99.
Yep.
So those are cool. That's cool.
Yeah, and there's if you're interested in doing the baby along, there's patterns to go along with these too. The pictures are shown on the website. I don't think it's got how many skeins you need listed, but for most of the patterns you need anywhere from 2 to 4 skeins of these. A lot of them have blankets. There's a couple little baby cardigans, which they're really cute knit up in the self stripers.
Yeah,
and it's worsted weight, so it's a little bit of a faster knit than the traditional sport DK for babies too.
Yeah, and the baby along's running through October 4th.
Yeah,
so there's still time.
So
something like this.
The colors are really fun.
Yeah.
So.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Good pick, Kel.
I know, isn't that
good
fun?
Pick for me. Thanks.
You're welcome. All right. So,
what's our coupon code?
I think our coupon code for this week should be Weekly Pick Fair Ito.
Fairito.
Fairito. And Ito like ITO.
Okay.
So, and Angel put it on the screen right here in front of me.
Okay. No E on the end of fair.
No. Fair.
Fair, like the fair.
Fair. Fairito. Fairito. And because I've been saying it all week, so the reason I've been saying Ito all week is Noro has come out with a new yarn, and it's called Noro Ito, and it's so fun to say. I don't know why, it's just really fun to say Noro Ito. As Carol, I've been walking around the store going Noro Ito. I have. So we've got 4 colors of it in stock. Look at the size of these skeins. They're enormous.
They are enormous.
They are so fun. So the Noro Ito is the same weight as like Kurion.
Okay.
So all those Kurion patterns that you've got, you can use the Noro Ito for. And so you need fewer skeins because these guys are 200 gram skeins.
They're massive.
They're huge. You're looking at about 440 yards, something like that. US 7 to 8 needle. It's a worsted weight yarn. So you wouldn't need very many of these for a sweater or for a vest. There's some really great Noro-Kurion patterns.
Worsted Boxy.
Worsted Boxy. And these guys are retailing for $40. So it's a lot of yarn, and it's softer than the Kurion. They're starting to soften up their yarns. They're adding merino, so finer quality wools. So they're adding merino. They're going to start doing yarns with alpaca. Because for Noro yarns, the biggest complaint for the longest time was that they were scratchy. Yeah. So they are going to start doing that. This one, I don't know. This one just says 100% wool, but it's quite soft. It's softer than the Kurion of old that you remember. Mm-hmm. So these are just so pretty, and they are going to, you know, do kind of a striping, but it's a little bit more subtle than some of them. Look at all the colors in that. Isn't that fun?
That is super fun. That one would be awesome for like baby.
That's really fun.
Super rainbow colored.
So yeah, it's really kind of fun. I think they always, for their yarn, always recommend dry cleaning. I have never dry cleaned my Noro. I always hand wash it, and I don't know if they just think people aren't going to know how to care for it. So if you look at the label, it says dry clean, but I always hand wash it. I mean, it's beautiful, felts beautifully. If you want to do a felting project, you know, the Ange did the bag earlier. Was it last year, or did you finish it in the early?
Oh, who knows?
Oh, you used the Gina, though,
I used
didn't
the Gina, yeah.
But I ended up using the Noro for the crochet one that I did.
This stuff will felt beautifully.
So, I mean, there's a lot of yardage here. So for these, you can get 10% off one of these. And
nice. Yeah,
they're really fun. I love that the skeins are so huge too.
Yeah.
Because the smaller skeins are what? They're only about 100 yards.
Yep.
A little over 100 yards. So this is basically 4 times that.
Yeah.
So the price is right around the same as what you would pay for the Kurion.
Yep.
But you get it all in one gigantic skein.
Nice.
I know. They're really fun.
Sweet.
I like that one. I've been really digging like fall colors lately.
Yeah. Totally.
So, but anyway, that is the pick. So, weekly pick, Fairito.
Fairito.
And I'm having burritos for dinner.
I was just at Mo's Mexican, but I did not eat a burrito.
I'm going to say burrito.
Burrito. I'm not wearing any hand knits, though I am wearing a stitch marker necklace.
Sweet. Oh, that's the one that you got.
Yeah. It does not play very nice with my seatbelt.
Oh, get snagged on it. So you can't get out of the car and be like, oh.
But,
oops.
No, it's fine.
Oh dear.
It's fine.
Just have to like tuck it under your shirt, into your shirt when you're, before you get in.
Car, if I remember.
I know. That's the thing, like you're just not even thinking about it.
So I don't have any finished objects.
I don't either. I was trying to crank the sweater out so much, and I am getting so close.
So I listed in the show notes that unless I get to count a half finished object, but I don't even have that because I did started the show notes at like a day or so ago, and I thought that I would actually have a half finished object. And do you think that I've had any knitting time in the last like 3 days? The answer would be no. None. Because I thought I was going to be able to get the toe done on these socks. So these are just a vanilla shorty sock.
Oh, people were commenting on the heel on these. It's so pretty. The yarn is really lovely.
So the heel is just a garter stitch German short row heel. Mina Phillip, the knitting expat, has a fantastic tutorial in most of her patterns.
A lot in her socks.
Yep.
It's lovely.
On how to do a German short row heel. And I think she has directions for the garter stitch one too. This is the heel that I put in the watermelon socks.
Oh yeah.
But it was just a stockinette version.
Yep. I've done her short row heel before, and it comes out beautifully.
I love it, and I just figured, I was like, well, I'll just try the garter stitch because it'll add a little bit of texture to this otherwise plain sock. And I think it looks
I love it.
Great.
Because it just gives it that little bit of something, you know?
And I did add about an inch after I finished the ribbing before I started the heel. And that seems to be solving, though those watermelon socks actually don't slip down.
Oh, good.
Like I was concerned that they would. And I think I just will have to be careful which shoes I wear them with.
Yeah.
Because some shoes I think they will slip down. But anyway, so I think I have like probably like 1 or 2 more decrease rows on the toe, and then I need to Kitchener the toe. Like that's literally how close I am to being done with one sock.
Darn, so close.
Well, I would have been even further along, but I apparently jinxed my knitting. Right, with the smug, I cast on 390 stitches and joined it in the round and nothing happened.
I know. I forget that it's been 2 weeks and we've been chit-chatting a little bit, and I forget that.
So this is the second toe that I've knit into this sock, because the first toe, the sock was not long enough.
Oh.
Like, how does that happen?
She like totally jinxed her knitting life for the next few weeks, I think.
I did wait till we get to Zwag.
Yeah.
I still don't know what happened. Anyway, so I would have had this done, and I would have had enough. Had the second sock cast on. This is second toe. I had to rip back and do it again. So, all right, these things happen. Totally fine. This is the way it goes.
Oh boy.
Yeah, I know.
I'm really, really close on finishing the body on my sweater. I'm sure it probably doesn't look that much different to you guys.
Yeah, it looks great. Look at that.
So there it is. And I actually added, so it called for a total of 7 lace chart repeats. Was it 7? Yeah, it was 7, and I added an extra one because I've got a really long torso, and I don't want to have a cropped style sweater for this particular sweater.
Right.
And I might actually put it on hold or on scrap yarn and see if I want to make it longer than what I have. So I've added an extra. I'm halfway through my lace repeat, so I've only got half a lace repeat to go, and then I've got the ribbing at the bottom. But I might put it on. Actually, I might get. We've got the cable connectors for the Knitter's Pride. Put it screw a cable connector on, and then screw another cable on, and then I won't have to transfer any stitches.
That's probably what I need to do with Zwag.
And then I can try this on and see if it's going to be as long as I want it, because it looks, a lot of people are like, is that for you? Isn't that for a kid? It looks so small. But I mean,
it'll stretch.
Yeah, it's got the lace in it too, which when that's blocked out, it'll stretch. So, and I know the top fits me because I made sure that would. But sometimes when it pulls out, so when I block it out, it'll pulls shorten a little bit of length out of it. Yeah. So I want to make sure that when I'm actually wearing it, that it's not going to pull up like that.
Right.
So after I try it on, I'll decide whether or not I have to do more lace repeats or not. I've got plenty of yarn for the sleeves and the ribbing at the bottom and everything, so I'm not worried about that. And so I'm going to do that once I finish this lace repeat, and I can decide how much ribbing I want. I think it calls for 12 rows of ribbing, but depending on where I'm at, if a lace repeat and would make it too much longer, then I might just do as much ribbing as I want to make it the length that I need it.
Okay.
If that makes sense. So it's coming. Yay. And it's going to be a great fall festival sweater. Especially, awesome. I think maybe for Vermont Sheep and Wool, because Vermont Sheep and Wool is at the end of September.
Yep.
And so it can be still warm. Well, I mean, Rhinebeck last year was 80 degrees,
so
so I think it'll be a good, depending on what we have.
Which color do you use for the arms, or
you actually use the body color, so the orange, because you actually end. So this last row is where you bind off. Well, you put the stitches on hold for the sleeves, so you pick right up. So when you're wearing it, it'll line right up with where the body is. So, and I've got plenty of that left too, so if I ended up getting short on this, I could always do the cuffs, or I can pull back and, extend this part of it. But, because I have seen some where people did, they wanted to bring this color back in, so the cuffs on the sleeves they did in this color, and then they did the bottom band around the sweater, the ribbing, in that same color too, to kind of tie it back together. So I don't know, we'll see. I've got, like I said, I mean, I still have
a lot.
I mean, it was a huge skein of yarn, so I'd love to use up as much of it as possible.
Watch the opening gate at Rhinebeck as Kelly and I run to Cece's barn to fight over the yarn babies.
It's my baby!
That one's mine! Some elbows are thrown. What?
Give that to
Who
me!
are those? Like, oh, don't worry, they're friends. It's fine.
My baby!
Some people run for Jenny the Potter.
We're running for the yarn baby.
Babs, and we're like, Cece's giant yarn skates. We'll start a stampede. They'll be like, where are those guys going?
No. There must be something good we gotta follow.
we start a riot.
I know, right? Oh boy.
Oh gosh. So here's Boxy. Sad little. I'm going like 4 inches.
I love the color.
I am loving the color.
It's knitting up beautifully.
Thank you. I did decide, so let me see if I can show this. That ends kind of this. So I did decide to start, and let's see if we can get it up on the screen.
Oh, there. That's.
Yep. I did decide to start alternating skeins because I was getting sort of this weird splotchy pooling.
Yep.
Which it's hard to tell like how bad it would be, but I just was like, you know what? I'm not feeling it. I'm not going to go with it. And so you can see what happens when you start alternating skeins. You just get some striping, and it totally breaks up this pooling action that was starting to happen. I could just see it happening on the stockinette.
Yeah.
And it's not going to be noticeable down at the bottom, but I am alternating.
Yeah.
So every 2 rows, which means that I end up with like these like yarn tangles that I'm constantly fighting with, but it's all right. It will mean that I end up with a product that I'm more likely to wear because I'm not feeling like, oh, I don't really like those weird splotches are there.
It's worth the extra effort, because if it's not something you're going to wear by the time you get done knitting it, then
why even bother?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Exactly. So this is just a lot of around and around and around and around and around. It's probably going to be like my podcast knitting for like the next 12 months. So I'm just warning you all.
And we have Boxy again today.
And look, Boxy's not any longer.
She's an inch longer.
I'm in the black hole of stockinette knitting. No, I don't know. I think with some of these, like when you first start, it feels like it takes forever, and then you hit a certain point in the project, and for whatever reason, it just seems to go much faster.
Yeah.
So I don't know why that is.
I'm really digging this sweater. I mean, I like lace. I really like knitting lace anyway, and this is a really easy lace pattern. I have it memorized. I don't even have to look at it anymore after the, however many repeats of it I've done. But it's really nice that there's, a rest row where you knit the entire row, and then, chunks of it in between the lace section where it's just all knitting anyway.
Yep.
So, it goes really fast, and for me, lace is like, oh, I'm going to just do the next repeat of lace.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm just going to do the next one. So it goes really quickly. This, for us, a fingering weight sweater, this one has, come along quite quickly for me.
Yep.
Which is nice. And I ended up, so we did get our Zing fixed needles in. The 9s and 12s were brand new for this year, so they're actually still on back order. They haven't come into the States yet. So we are waiting on those. They are on order, so as soon as our distributor gets them, we're going to get them. Awesome. So I was going to knit my sleeves on a 12-inch with the Zings, but instead what I ended up getting, we've got Hayas, and they will be a little bit different than the Zings, but not enough so that it's really going to change my gauged. So I got a set of the 5-inch, and they're pointier, so I'll have to be a little bit more careful about not stabbing my yarn and splitting it, but and the sleeves are just plain stockinette, so
nice.
They'll fly, especially on the 12-inch circulars.
Yeah.
So
Well, I will. So I have one other project I've been working on. Apparently, I'm just casting on fingering weight sweaters. I don't know what's going on, guys. And then I started looking at like some worsted weight, and I may or may not have those 2 sweater quantities of Legacy Fiber Arts in the DK.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
So at some point, I'm going to cast on the Comfort Fade cardigan for one of them, but then I have a whole second sweaters quantity that I've been trying to decide what I want to use it for. And I have some ideas, and I'm getting itchy to cast on something with a little bit bigger yarn.
Yeah.
That I might be able to see some faster progress of. I was like, wow, maybe I'll make a worsted boxy, and I was like, really? Really?
Boxy and worsted boxy.
Just, come on.
That's funny.
All right, so I'm going to show this first, and then I'm going to talk about the yarn curse, or the knitting curse, that is apparently occurring. So this is Zwag, and I am about 1 to 2 rows away from dividing for the sleeves. But here's... I literally do not know how this happened. So I had my pattern, and I'm going to see if I can find a page that I can show that's not going to give away a lot of the secret sauce of what's going on here. All right, well, I'll just kind of flash forward. Okay, so you see how there's things highlighted on the sheet? So when I have a pattern like this that has a lot of instructions, I will find my size and I will go through and I will highlight. Sometimes I circle, but a lot of times I'll just highlight my stitch count. And I decided to make the large because I figured, well, I tend to be a tighter knitter, and I didn't check my gauge, and whatever. It'll be close enough. It'll be fine. And so I swear, the one thing I have not done, Kelly, is to go back and count around to see if I actually cast on the right number of stitches. So at some point, I either cast on the wrong number of stitches, and then that totally messed me up for the rest of the sweater, or I did a repeat row twice and didn't realize it. That's the only other thing I can think of that happened. So I get to the end of the lace chart, and
I start getting texts from Angela.
She starts getting texts from me because I just did a quick count of my stitches because I wanted to just make sure that everything was right. I just finished the final increase row, and I wanted to double check and just be am I where I need to be? I was just gonna look to see. So I should have had 376 stitches on the needles, right? Nope. I had 413 stitches on the needle. I had 1 extra stitch. 412 stitches is a 2XL. I have no idea what happened. I further don't have any idea what's going on, because for the 2XL size of this counter color here and the 2XL size, it's supposed to take 450 yards of yarn. I have this much yarn left.
Yeah.
And there was only 435 yards in this skein. So if I actually really made the true 2X size, I shouldn't have any yarn left.
It's really, I know, because Ange and I were trying to figure through where she may have went off.
Troubleshoot this.
Yeah. So
I haven't had time to actually count my top ribbing stitches to see if it was a cast on error there. In the end, I just don't care.
Yeah.
Because if it's too big, it's the style of sweater that it will be fine because I will wear it over something, and so instead didn't really want it to be super form-fitting anyway. So I don't even know what size I'm making right now because I have enough stitches on for it to be a 2XL. My gauge up here is supposedly spot on, but it doesn't make any sense because I haven't used even close to the amount of yardage in this section.
So, you know, the other thing you could do is when you get to the point of separating for the sleeves, rather than, you could see how it's fitting you. And a lot of designers have been doing more form-fitted sleeves and then looser bodies. So if you want a little extra room in the sleeves, you could always, you know, move some of the stitches so that you have a little bit more room so it's not as tight on the arm. And then it's, you know, if it's kind of loose but not quite as much as it would if you use those extra stitches. So if you were going by the large size, you know what I mean?
I think I'm just going to stick now. I'm going to shift everything to the numbers for the 2XL and see what happens. If I have more room in the arms, it's fine. I'd prefer more room in the body anyway.
Yeah, so you may be, you know.
I don't know. The only thing that I'm worried about now is whether I'm going to have enough of this color. But given how much extra I have of this.
If you could point me in the
yeah.
I don't know.
Does it, is it a long sleeve?
Yeah, but I'm not opposed to making 3/4.
Yeah.
I generally push my sleeves up anyway.
Yeah.
So doing 3/4 would be fine.
Yeah.
So I have no idea what happened. Other than this falls into the category of apparently when you make mistakes, you make them very big and very fast and occasionally have no idea. The other lesson in here maybe don't drink and knit. I don't
Okay. Fair.
But I mean, I just got out of the lace section where I had to have a correct number of stitches for something because my stitch counts were all right through there, and this part they were all correct.
Because then your lace, I mean, and your pattern one lined up. Yeah. That's really funny.
I'm just wondering if I did an extra increase round somewhere without realizing it.
Yeah.
And so it's just
and magically got to the correct number for the next couple of sizes up.
Well, it was one off.
I know. I remember that.
So I don't know. But anyway, so like there was lots of like, was that Sunday morning? Was that a Sunday morning? I think Sunday morning texting with Kelly was like, oh my God, nothing will happen. Adventures in knitting. Adventures in knitting. Kelly is so amazing. She's like trying to help me troubleshoot. Well, did you think of that? I was like, yes, and it's not working. My gauge is fine. I can't read. Can't read my own highlighted pattern.
I know. We've all been there. So.
But it's a great. I even went back and I was like, well, maybe her math's wrong.
Well, you know, and sometimes that happens, but it's been a really
it's been a very popular sweater, so I'm pretty sure it's probably not her math. It's very likely that I cannot read or read the same row twice.
I haven't actually stitched.
Yeah,
that's weird.
Yeah,
that's okay. I'll figure it out.
So, anyway, that's been my adventure in knitting.
Yeah.
This project, contrary to my recent Instagram post, I added this picture in. This did not go camping with me. I just wanted to throw a picture in because it's so pretty.
Yeah.
I left it at home.
It is really pretty. I love the colors in it.
Thank you.
So.
It's fun. So hopefully I'll get it done for like Rhinebeck. It's a couple months.
Yeah.
Should be able to get it done. Unless I get distracted by something.
I know.
I'm gonna get distracted by something else.
Well, and that's the problem. And because I'm like lining up things to do after this, and I was like, you know, I've got all these ancient whips I should be working on, and I've got just a few, you know, like my change of shawl, I wanted to get back to them. But lately I've been like in a really sweater-oriented frame of mind, and so I have one lined up for after. Well, I have two kind of. So there's the Lane sweater, which is in the same line of #1, issue 1 magazine.
Yep.
And so there's that one that I have the DK weight, the fiber stash lined up for to use. So that's one that might be a possibility. And then I really want to. So I have this book, which we sell here at the store, the Pam Allen Plain and Simple book. And this is the one that used owl for all of the patterns in it.
Yeah.
So I really want to do willow. And one of our customers just finished her willow, and it came out beautifully. And then I had a bunch of yarn that I was going to knit the Humulus sweater out of, but I couldn't get gauge with it with the willow, with the owl. And so, but I don't have enough skeins of yarn to do the sweater I want to do. So for that yarn, I think I'm probably going to do that one.
Oh, that's cool.
But that's not the one that I'm buying yarn today for.
Oh, that's what that pile of yarn was for.
Yeah. So I'm going to have another acquisition to add to that, which I did put on my acquisition list. But the one I want to do, is there a good picture of it?
Peter and I know the Peter. Yeah.
Sort of. So I want to do larch.
Oh, that is awesome.
So it's just a really big oversized sweater. The model is wearing one that has 17 inches of positive ease.
That's awesome.
I'm not going to do that much positive ease. I think I'm going to do like 10 to 12. So the size that I picked is, I think, about 12 inches of positive ease.
It's got a cowl neck on it too.
It's got a big cowl neck. It's got pockets. Let me see if this one, the picture that's here. It's so cozy, and I'm thinking about how comfy would that be to throw on with a pair of leggings and just be cozy in it, you know, and
lounge around.
Yeah. So I don't know if I can. There's kind of the frontal view of it. It's really pretty. So let me see. I've got a skein here. I only brought one skein over, so I need a bunch of them. But so that's the color I think I'm gonna do.
Nice.
It's hard to see, you know, on screen. So it reads as like in person as kind of a light gray, but it's got kind of a natural undertone to it. So it can go gray, it can go brown, it can lean either
almost
way.
Almost like it would go like blue if you held it up next to something that was blue.
Yeah. So this is Elf is the colorway from Quince & Co, and that's their owl, which is the wool alpaca yarn that they do.
Nice.
So that's the one that I think I'm going to do. So, which is kind of, sorry, we can't sell this online. It's Quince & Co's policy. They're the only ones that sell online, and we're cool with that because we're happy to have it in store.
Absolutely.
But we can certainly, if there's something you're interested in, you can always call us and see if we have it. But anyway, so yeah, I'm going to do larch, and
Nice.
I really want to start, I want to swatch for it and everything, but I'm so terrified that if I swatch for it, then I won't focus as much as I need to on finishing the winter leaf, which is my autumn leaf, because, you know. So yeah, so larch is going to be, I think, coming in the works. And I'm going to skip ahead to acquisitions for a second, because I have a project bag, a brand new acquisition.
I think we're at acquisitions anyway.
Okay, I didn't know if you had more whips and upcoming
just
projects
these
you wanted to talk about.
I've already kind of shown it.
Okay.
All three of
See,
them.
I just am like moving us right along
She's
here.
like, let's
I'm
go.
going to get you out of here on time. I caught one of the Fat Squirrels updates, her most recent
Yes,
one.
she did.
And tomorrow is her Halloween one. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, her Halloween update is tomorrow. Tomorrow night.
Thank you, Kelly.
You're welcome. So I got one of her sweater bags, and I'll keep it away from you because it has lavender sachet in it.
Oh, no, it's fine.
So I caught one of her last update, and she had the sweater size bag, and I forget, this is like summer something was the name of it.
I've actually been finding that the more I've been, lavender isn't bothering me as much.
Yeah. So I thought this was
Sorry, that was
so
totally
fun.
side conversation.
Yeah, well, I love, just look at how bright and colorful and cheery it is. So
the fabric that she finds,
oh my gosh, she finds
amazing.
Great fabric.
I can't wait to go to Needles Up. You know that I'm
be like Amy Beth.
Kelly's gonna be like, you do not need 6 new bags. Put them down.
Hey, you know, I don't need any bags, but not really. Although this size is a nice size.
That's a very nice size to have.
Because I showed you last week this one that I got, which this is another nice size bag.
Yep.
And this one holds my
You can put a sweater in it.
fingering weight sweater quantity type yarn quite well. This one is just a little bit bigger, so I think it'll be great for the larch.
I do have one of her Aran weight or Aran size bags, and for me it's almost too big.
I know that, and that's my fault because I was sent to get a sweater bag and I got the wrong one. I grabbed one.
No, it's totally fine.
But
I probably would have picked it up too.
I thought it was so cute.
It was cute. It's got sweaters on it.
I know, the sweater one. So yeah,
it's the perfect bag for if you have like a sweater in it and like 2 or 3 other projects.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, so I just got this. It was just so bright and fun and cheery, and I like the bees that are on it.
That is cute. I love it.
I
I'm
know.
so gonna have to go check her Halloween.
I know.
She finds amazing. I don't know where she finds her fabric.
And she does like
so
the fun. I love the bright. It's kind of like an
zipper,
orangey yellow
yeah.
zipper, and it's so fun. And
Yeah.
she does a really nice job with it. And this she uses like the home deck fabric, so it's heavier, and she just lines it usually with just kind of a nice plain muslin on the inside.
Yeah.
Which having a light color lining is
It's
really nice.
really handy.
Because you can see your stuff when it gets down into the bottom. And that's the other thing with hers. Hers are longer, and they've got the box bottom too.
Yep.
So rather than being really deep and cavernous,
Yep.
they're
I will say I find some of my favorite project bags that I go to over and over again are ones that have been made by her. And I have some of her, a couple of her smaller ones, and
Yeah.
I've got one that's that size, and then I've got the bigger
Yeah.
one. But
Yeah.
I started putting in the bigger one that you got me. I started putting. I am one of these days going to start a mitered square corner blanket, and so I've started
Yes.
putting
Little
the
bits
little
in there.
bits in there.
That's perfect.
Because I figured that's like the perfect size for something
That's
like that.
great for that. Yeah.
Yeah.
The one thing I really do like about the bag from Joan, and we may mention the Seasons of Vermont boxes are going to have one of Joan's bags in it next
Yeah.
time.
I think next week we'll show up.
Yeah,
some
we'll
of that
start
stuff.
showing it because we've got the bags and the yarn, and they're perfect together. They're
And
so
the
good.
stitch markers that are coming are
oh,
going to be.
are they? Oh, cool.
Yeah.
So the one thing I do really like is, you can't really see it down there, but this one has a pocket in it.
Oh,
So
yeah.
especially as I'm getting down on the body, I've got a tape measure in there, and I always know I can just reach right into that pocket and grab my tape measure.
It's also a good place to check stitch markers because otherwise
Yeah,
you're digging for
I mean,
them in
because
the
I do have my little Notions pouch in here too, but I don't have to get it into that very often. It's just my tape measure right now because I'm measuring the body, every, after every lace repeat or something, I'm checking it. And the bags for the Seasons of Vermont, they all have
They have
pocket in their
pockets in
pocket. So they're I think they're just a bit smaller than this one. Like if you cut that much off of them, that's about how big they
Nice.
are. They're really nice bags.
Super cool.
She found this gorgeous batik fabric
So amazing.
that's going to be on those, so they're lovely. And Joan, and she quilts them all herself.
Yeah.
They're
awesome.
all unique. All of the quilting on them is all just a little bit different, which is so fun. So they'll all be just a little bit different. So yeah, they're great, and Joan is just fantastic. So
Nice. Nice.
Yeah.
I did have I put in show notes, sort of tongue in cheek, that I was so good, but of course I was camping and didn't have cell signal or Wi-Fi for like 5 days, so it was really hard to get into trouble and buy anything. But I did manage, you guys, to buy something. Are you ready?
ready,
Okay.
sweet.
So that says Vermont State Parks. Established 1927. So I have a Vermont State Parks hat. Everybody in my family, well, except for Abigail, because she won't wear them,
Oh yeah.
got one. The boys' are camo style. I did not want camo style. So I got the green one. So I got a new hat.
We've got some really great state parks here.
Yeah, we pick a new state park every summer.
That's nice.
And to go check it out. So there's so many, and most of them are on bodies of water of some form, either a river or a lake. And there's tons of recreation. Though I will say, the state park that we were at, Brighton State Park, which is way up in the Northeast Kingdom, almost to Canada. They do have loons.
Oh really?
Yep. I hate them. Just kidding. They are so loud.
They are really loud.
And I guess even with like all of my biology background, I did not realize that loons call all night long.
Yeah, they do.
They do.
Yeah.
And they're really loud.
Yeah. My husband and I lived over in the Adirondacks, and we did a ton of hiking and
Yeah.
some camping and stuff. We had a canoe, and there's tons of lakes over there.
Yeah.
So we would, we did a lot while we were there, and up in the Adirondacks, you see them everywhere, and they're really cool. They're eerie though.
Yeah.
Like especially if it's like a foggy morning and you go out and you're on the water and you don't see a whole lot and you just hear a call. It's really kind of hauntingly, kind of cool, but it is.
The first night we were there, like we woke up the next morning, and I was complaining about the loons because they were really loud, and my husband was like, well, the loons didn't really bother me. He goes, that train. And I was like, what train? Apparently I slept through the train that like shook the entire tent.
Oh my God.
But the loons kept me awake.
Oh, that's funny.
Isn't that weird?
That probably would be me too, because we actually are about half a mile from train tracks where my house is. And so they go through, although they've been going through a lot lately.
Yeah.
And there are certain times of the year where there's higher train traffic.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot is like maybe 5 times a day rather than like two or three times a day. One went through the other morning, so I didn't sleep great the other day. I got like 2 hours of sleep, and but one went through at like 3:30 in the morning, and I was like, oh, come on. They usually don't. They are usually only during the day. Sometimes we'll get one like about 10 or between 10 and 11 at night.
Yeah.
And then we usually rarely get them, you know, anything earlier than, you know, 5 or 6. But you kind of get used to some things like that in your in your life, because of your environment. You get desensitized to that kind of thing. But
and we're tent campers, so like there's no barrier there at all. So doesn't seem to bother the kids.
Well, that's good.
At all. So
that's good. The water looked really nice and clear there.
It was. There was a little bit of milfoil. We didn't actually make it over to actual Island Pond. So the state park's on Spectral Pond, and it's literally like right next to Island Pond. But Spectral Pond was nice. It was really pretty clear and nice, like sandy beach and sandy swim.
I know that video you sent me, that was cute. But I saw the water and the beach looked really nice.
Yeah,
so that's great.
Nice. That's a good place. So yeah, I put my podcast skills to use and put together a little video and picture slideshow to share with family members and friends. So
nice.
So that's good. So we've got some cool events coming up. We've got a Rhinebeck bus that's going to go down on Saturday, October 20th.
Yep. And you can register for it on our website. There's a link in show notes.
Yep. It's $75. Leaves for Jen's park and ride at 7 a.m. and gets back about 7 p.m. or 8 p.m. or 9 p.m.
It was usually between 9 and 9:30, depending on how long of a stop. Because last year they made a stop. So
we stopped. It's super fun, a good time. It's a great way to go see the festival. Don't worry. Even though the bus gets down to the festival a little bit late, there's plenty of time to see everything, and I think overwhelmingly most people were ready to go and felt like they had enough time to see everything at the fairgrounds.
Yeah, my favorite time on Saturday is like between 3 and 5, because the people that were up just from like the city for a day thing, or that they you know, it's usually they're kind of filtering out, so you can actually, it's almost like Sunday morning, but Sunday mornings are starting to get really busy again now.
Yeah.
So
that used to be my other favorite time, because it was quieter, but not so much anymore.
I think Saturday afternoon is getting to be more my favorite time, and the light at that time of year is really pretty too. It's like a really soft with all the leaves turning the kind of oranges and yellows. So
unless something very weird happens, I think we are planning on being there for Podcaster Meetup on Saturday afternoon. We'll just be randomly roaming around. We'll be at Needles Up.
Yeah, so definitely if you're there, stop and say hi.
We'll probably
because we'll have some
goodies,
stuff with us to hand out.
Swag and things.
Yep.
Yeah, I've been. I'm going to get ordered to stay off of Fort Imprint here pretty soon.
You're just like, oh, that'd be fun to have the logo on.
I keep ordering samples, and then I text Kelly. I'm like, there's some stuff from Fort Imprint showing up. Samples. It's mine. Just checking out some things. So, anyway. Super fun. So the other thing, I've named it. It may get renamed but I'm calling it Unwind with Must Love Yarn. So this is our retreat that we are right in the middle of planning. We're finalizing a few details. If all goes well, I think we probably are going to be able to give you all the details next week and have the ability to purchase retreat spots go live pretty soon thereafter. So we are very close.
Yep. Details are coming together.
Yep. And if you want to mark your calendar, it's going to be February 28th, 2019 through March 3rd, 2019. So that's a Thursday through Sunday.
Yep.
We're getting a lot of cool stuff lined up for the retreat attendees. It's going to be a fabulous weekend. Plus, you get to spend the weekend with us.
Yeah, and we've got a class lined up. So we're not going to make it super class heavy because a lot of people
just want
to relax and downtime, and we're going to have a wine and yarn tasting.
Yeah.
We're going to have a trunk show, like try it on trunk show happening.
We're going to have a marketplace.
We're going to have a marketplace.
We're going to have field trip to Must Love.
Yeah, field trip to Must Love. Yeah, of course. I mean, how could we not do that?
I've heard something about movie night and s'mores.
Movie night. Oh yeah, because the venue where we're having it is on Lake Champlain, and there's a fire pit. So we're gonna do that. So yeah, it's gonna be
so much fun.
It's gonna be a ton of fun.
Super relaxing.
Yeah, lots of knitting time. Some downtime, chit-chatting time. Great food.
I think what I said is we're putting together a weekend of fun, fiber, and friendships.
I mean, we're going to be busy working and things, you know, making sure everybody's having a good time, but it's still going to be fun for us.
Oh, yeah.
I'm looking forward to it. Excited. I know. And Jen, who doesn't podcast with us, but is our third business partner.
She'll be there too,
She'll
right?
be there.
Yeah.
She'll be there.
So you'll get to meet all three of us.
Yeah. So
great.
You'll get to know her a little bit better if you come to the retreat.
We are very excited.
The other thing that we've had questions about, and I was going to talk to Ange, and Jen thought it was a great idea. We're having a meeting on Sunday.
Let's just go with it.
But
announce stuff on the podcast before it's official.
I think what we're going to do too, we've had a number of locals ask about doing day passes for the retreat. So basically include most everything except for the sleepover part.
Okay.
So I think we'll probably open a limited number. We have to work on the logistics and the pricing of that. But we might open a limited number for people who are interested in, taking part in the activities and the socialization and things like that, but not necessarily needing the bed part of it.
Okay.
So Ange and I are going to talk about that a bit more. But so if you're local and that's something that you're interested in, that could be an option. So we just have to check out the logistics.
And I think definitely we would be selling tickets for the marketplace time frame.
Yeah. So if you just want to come and check that out,
we're curating our list of vendors right now, but they will be fantastic. We're really excited.
I know we've got a couple
that have committed
on board already, and that we're really excited about.
Yeah,
and you guys will be too.
We're so excited.
Yeah,
so excited.
Yeah.
Can't wait. And, so we do have 3 knit-alongs running right now. So we've got the multicolor summer shawl knit-along.
That's quickly coming to
that one's going to end in the middle of September. So get your stuff finished and get it entered. I've seen a lot of entries. Awesome shawls.
So if you have a multicolor shawl, with that one it couldn't be a whip, could it? Nope.
No.
Never mind. I was going to say maybe an ancient whip, but
no. We have our ancient whips cowl. Which I am so glad we have provided motivation to so many of our watchers.
Oh, I had a question though for you because somebody asked me.
Yeah.
Do you want them to enter? So if it's a 5-year project, do you want them to do 5 entries, or do you want them to just say this is 5 and then we'll set up a spreadsheet?
I want them to put 5 entries because it's less work for me.
Okay. Gotcha. Okay, so there you
post it 5 times.
You heard it from Anne.
And you can randomly post it. If you want to post one of them today and 2 days from now another one to spread them out so they're not all clumped together, that's fine.
And all you have to do, so if you want to have the picture or whatever in it, you can just copy everything. So after you make your initial post, then you can go back and edit it, copy everything, and that'll give you all the hot link things and to link pictures and stuff, and then just post, create a new post, and then paste it.
I saw somebody posted a sweater they finished that was 12 years old.
Cool.
Yeah. That's awesome. That was the whole idea.
I know.
And then the Ancient Whips Cowl's sister thread, which is the Frogget thread. So if you're digging out your Ancient Whips and you decided, this is not for me.
People have been having fun with that.
I'm not going to finish this. I'm not going to do it.
Yeah.
Take a before you rip it out picture and an after you rip it out picture and put it into a post into the Frogget thread, and we're going to pull prizes from there too.
Mm-hmm.
So if you need some motivation to get some stuff off the needles in that fashion, we're doing that for you too.
Yeah.
So that's been pretty cool to watch.
It has.
The ripped out stuff. And then everybody's favorite, the baby cow, also known as the baby along.
Baby along. Oh my gosh.
So Baby Along's running till October 4th, and it's all things baby, 24 months or younger, on the clothing for that.
Yep.
If you have any questions, just throw a question. If you're not sure, throw it up into the chatter thread. 9 times out of 10, I'm like, yeah, it's fine, it counts.
Throw it up.
Yep,
That's
throw
what
it
I'm
up.
laughing about.
Throw it up.
I can't help it.
Chuck it up there. But occasionally I've been like, nope, no size 4, no, it's for babies, not for toddlers. Maybe we'll have a toddler along soon, because you know those babies are going to grow into toddlers.
Right.
So we will do that next. But actually, our next upcoming cowl, I'll announce it so people can get ready.
Cowl?
Cowl. There'll probably be more than one. This is the first one that I've come up with. So we're gonna do a mitten tree cowl. So starting October 1st and running through the end of November, we are going to encourage you to knit mittens for mitten trees. We are going to partner here locally with a couple of the UPS stores that do collections for mitten trees. So the idea is to knit it. We'll have you post it in the finished objects thread, and then if you're local to us, bring it in and we'll be like a collection point, and then we'll get them to the UPS store. If you're not local to us and you can't find a place that will take or isn't doing their own mitten trees, there's a lot of these across the country. Then get us the mitten, and I'm going to run a separate prize for the ones that we collect here in the store, so they're either sent to us or brought in, and then we'll run prizes for the finished objects thread. So you have a couple opportunities.
Is this one going to be mittens and hats? I know some of them do both.
I was just going to do mittens.
Okay. All right.
That's
fine.
There's a lot of different mitten patterns out there. You could do felted mittens, you could do not felted mittens.
There's like color work, there's pretty simple, just you know, plain knit mittens. So
so the rules that I'd kind of started to lay out were that whips are okay on this one because it's for charity. So this is we're gonna be a little more flexible on that. Each finished pair of mittens counts as an entry. You can enter multiple sets of mittens. And mitten sets brought into the store or mailed to us will be entered into a separate drawing for prizes. So I would love to take a giant stack of mittens to donate.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
That'd be awesome.
So it's my give back cowl.
Cowl. Not cowl.
Cowl. My give back mitten tree knit along.
Or crochet along.
You could crochet mittens. So,
sweet.
Yeah.
I like it.
I wanted to do a charity knit along.
Yeah, that's nice.
A bit. So,
very nice.
I'm sure there'll be a couple of others that I'll come up with in the meantime. Because we've got like 3 that are ending, so we'll need to fill in the edges there. But that's the next one, October 1st.
Nice.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
So. What else we have to do?
We got another prize to give away, but I don't know if we're ready. Are we in any way, shape, or form
Probably
able to
not
do that?
for that one yet. Ange and I will get together and we're gonna regroup because there were so many entries.
And that was for
the project bag yarn.
That was
and
for
stitch marker.
this one with the herding cats. See, you guys are it's like herding cats.
Like herding cats.
Trying to figure out what we're gonna do here. The progress keeper and the bag.
Yep. So that being said, the entry thread is still open. So you still have a chance. So we're compiling a list of the questions we're going to answer. Like Ange said earlier, we're gonna do some, at least one mini-sode, but we're on like our
like
5 pages
hour mini-sode, everything you wanted to know about Ange and Kelly.
You'd be like, oh my god, I know too much now.
Too much, you guys. We should probably, so Kelly was dividing them kind of into categories. Yeah. Maybe we should do a separate,
do like a knit one
for each topic.
Yeah.
And then if the topic, and we can load them up separately. So if the topic,
if you don't care about hearing about our like at home type life, and you want to just hear about our knitting life, then
you could skip that.
We can skip that one.
I think that probably makes sense.
That'd be kind of fun.
Yeah. And then if one ran a little longer, it wouldn't be that big of a deal.
Yeah, because then you can just break it up into sections, and if you want to watch it, separately, then you can. And then there's a couple we could put together. Like there's a food one that has a few questions. The animal one, there's a few animal questions about our various critters. So we can kind of combine some of those that would be a little bit shorter.
And maybe for one of the sections we can talk Jen into coming on too, so we can talk, because we got a lot of questions about how
especially the store ones.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking. That might be fun.
That'd be fun. Yeah.
Super fun.
Yeah.
Super fun.
Cool. So we will be drawing prizes, but until then, you have a little bit more time to ask questions in the thread. It's on Ravelry. Yep. If you're like me and not caught up on podcasts.
No, not at all. Because we're apparently trying to deal with us as like herding cats.
Yeah. Yeah. I remember, what the heck was it? There was a show where they actually tried to do that.
They actually tried to herd cats?
They tried to herd cats. So they first tried with like humans, and they're like, trying to herd the cats. And then they actually got a border collie in.
Oh.
That's their job, to herd cats. And
how did the border collie do?
Yeah, no, he was pretty frustrated.
Yeah.
I mean, some of the cats you actually could kind of herd. Some of them were, and then some of them just laid there and looked at you like, leave me alone. So it was funny. I can't remember what the heck it was on. I think it was on one of those, it might have been, so if you guys know Mythbusters.
Oh, yeah.
The 3, Grant, Carey, and Tori, which they did like their own little segments, that were different. They ended up coming out with a show on Netflix, and they only did 1 season, unfortunately, and I think it may have been on that one. So you might be able to find it on Netflix. And it was pretty funny.
I bet it would be, because I have 3 felines in my house, and cats.
I know. So we've got a ton of new stuff rolling into the store for fall.
So keep popping in for the upcoming week's picks of the week, because we're probably going to be showing.
Yeah. I mentioned the fixed circular zings are now in stock. We're waiting on the 9-inch and 12-inch. They will be coming though. We have the new Pom Pom magazine. Look at the cover. That one is the one I was like, oh, that's just gorgeous. Gorgeous, gorgeous. And there's a lot of really pretty patterns in here. So this is available now. It was just available for the shops to put on the shelves, I believe, today. So, so check that out. You can see all the patterns on Ravelry. They'll put not the actual pattern, but you can see what pictures of the patterns in here and the yarn called for and things like that. So we do have Pom Pom available now, and if you guys get the Indie Untangled newsletter, you will have seen there's a new magazine that's going to be coming out soon, and it's called Nomadic Knits, and it's supposed to be hitting shelves sometime in September. And it is a partnership between Melissa Kemmerer, who's a designer, and she just released a free pattern, Beach Hair Don't Care, like a little cute wrap.
Mm-hmm.
And I think they released that in to kind of ramp up for and promote the new magazine release, because it was done under the Nomadic Knits name, which is what the magazine is going to be. And also Becky, and I think her last name is Beagle. It's Beagell, I think is what her last name is.
Okay.
She was a yarn store owner and has now turned into kind of a new age nomad, and she's traveling around the country and checking out festivals and yarn stores and farms and things like
you should
that.
invite her to Vermont.
I already did.
Okay. she's 5 steps ahead
so
of me.
As soon as I saw the email, I was like, oh my god, we work with over 25 different local vendors, and so I was like, sometimes it's hard if you're not familiar with an area, just trying to get some really good information about what the fiber scene is like. And so I actually reached out to them and sent them an email saying, introducing myself and the store, and that, that working with our local farmers and producers was something that was really important to us, and that if they came to Vermont and did either a Vermont or New England piece, that I'd be happy to share our sources, our farmers and makers with them, and of course signed up to make sure we get the magazine in the store.
Awesome.
The first issue is about Florida, which will be kind of interesting, because you don't always think of Florida as like a really vibrant yarn scene. But so I'm really kind of curious to see the different places they go, and they're going to do places from all over the world. So it'll be really, really interesting. So that's Nomadic Knits. Keep an eye out for it. Of course, when we get it in, we're going to let you know about it. We're going to have a free copy that we can give away to you guys.
Ooh, cool.
Yeah, so I think it'll be a really cool adventure, and I can't wait to see where they go. So
nice.
Yeah.
Super fun.
Yeah, so we're going to have that coming soon. And
Excellent.
We've got some new project bags that have just arrived. I haven't got in yet. And lots of new yarn is rolling through the door. So
yeah, it's like Christmas here.
I know.
Christmas.
I know. And it falls like right around my birthday when we start getting the fall yarns in, and I'm just like such a fall person that I'm like, oh, it is like Christmas.
Yeah, it's a knitter's Christmas.
I know. It's great.
Very exciting.
I'm like, oh, I'll just get myself a little birthday present.
Just a little something. Just a little something.
So bad. So bad.
All right. I think we've done a pretty good
We
catch up
have.
here.
Wait, oh my gosh, look at it. Look at our time.
I know.
Wow, I wasn't paying attention to
This
our
is what
time.
happens when we skip a week.
I know. But we did pretty good.
We did.
And we stayed on task, and I tried to get everything ready so we could do that.
Yep.
But yeah, I think we'll stop it there. I mean, we could talk on and on about a lot of the new stuff and things we've been up to, and
We'll save it.
We'll save it, and we've got our questions episodes, and that'll be a lot of fun.
Yeah, well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that'll be fun.
Yeah.
And maybe we'll record some of that from the craft bunker if Ange and I are gonna have to get together on a weekend sometime, so she can come over and do some sock machine cranking.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
so we might just break it up and do it that way. So
Shoot some short podcast spots and
where we can fit it into our crazy lives right now. So
yeah, exactly.
But so keep an eye out for all
Yep.
that fun stuff, and we'll try to keep you updated on different things that are going on.
Yep.
If you're interested in the Rhinebeck bus, be sure to check that out.
Yep.
We have to have a head count kind of towards the beginning of October. If we don't have enough people, then unfortunately
We have to cancel.
we have to cancel, which I do not want to have to do, but
I
but it is a possibility. But we'll make that call probably about 3 weeks before the trip.
Yep.
So right around the 1st of October. So if we don't have enough people, then we'll make the call.
Yep.
But if it's close, then we'll make up the difference, because I mean, we don't make money on the Rhinebeck bus trip. It's just something that we want to do for anybody that wants to go. So that being said, I think that's about it for this week.
That's all. So we will see you next week.
Yeah.
Same place, same time, same Kelly and Angela.
Right. Since we usually forget to tell, people who we are in the beginning.
We did. We got off, but we.
You brought us back though.
We got back on.
Back on track. Thank you guys so much for joining us, and we hope you had a good couple of weeks. And we will see you all next week. Bye.
Outtakes, and I figured we could announce the outtake prize during this segment as well.
During the outtakes, because it was.
I know. Outtakes, and
I'm gonna warn you. I've been full of puns today.
Sweet.
I'm probably driving Carol crazy.
Because other than making me incredibly hungry, reading all those comments, and then I had to go through
all the different donuts. I'm like, hey, I've never heard of that donut.
Well, there was some of that, and so I started keeping notes after a while. So I think the the Boston cream and the maple frosted were probably like neck and neck in terms of like popularity.
Yeah, I was curious about that.
But somebody mentioned like a coconut donut. That sounded really cool. Susan F. I don't know how people feel about like us using their last names on podcasts, so I'll just keep it, except for the person who won, because then it's really you. Mentioned the Purple Glazed Donut Shop, and I think I
remember saying that. Yeah.
Texted you that, and you're like, you should go follow them on Instagram. And I did, and oh my god, I want to go to New Jersey, the shore of New Jersey, and go to this donut shop.
That's funny.
They have crazy looking donuts. Somebody who will remain nameless was talking about vegan donuts. Why? Where is that?
I figured that it was her.
But I suppose if your choices are no donuts or vegan donuts, I'd probably opt for vegan donuts.
Vegan donuts, though, I mean, that's pretty doable.
You just leave the lard out, right?
So it depends. It depends how you fry them.
Right.
So some people don't fry. Some people will fry in like a vegetable oil, and of course that would make it vegan. But it will also depend on your fat source. And it depends on the style of donut too.
That's true.
Because
you couldn't have the maple bacon donut, which somebody mentioned, and I was like, yes.
Yeah, but if you have a recipe, it depends on the style of donut. If you had one that called for like butter or something, obviously, then
that wouldn't
that
work.
Would be out, and you'd have to do something different. But sometimes you can replace them with like coconut oil or
that's true
something.
All right. Okay. So, not a vegetarian. Stretch of the imagination. I was for 7 years.
Really?
Not anymore. Yeah, I know. One of our watchers.
Vegetarian, I could do. Vegan.
Vegan, it would be
I would
really
have
hard.
a hard. I love cheese.
Too much dairy.
Yeah.
Dairy problem.
Yeah, I like milk.
So I almost had one of our listeners, but really, I've been listening to too many audio podcasts lately. So
it was funny. There was something I was thinking about. What the heck was it? Oh, because I know what it was. Because I was eating lunch not too long before you got here, and I dropped soup on my skirt.
Oh.
But it came out. It was fine. And but I was thinking, well, it's a good thing that we're sitting down. Nobody's going to see it anyway.
Right.
But then I was like, it's like the radio hosts and stuff. They're like, oh, it's a good thing we're not TV because I would have to actually like put makeup on or get out of my pajamas or something. And I was like, maybe we should consider doing an audio podcast. I'm like, then I wouldn't really have to care about anything. But then
that would be. I think that would be bad for us.
Well, it'd be easier to go from an audio podcast to a video podcast, but going from a video to an audio would be hard because you have to remember to describe everything. You can't just like sit and have a conversation.
Right.
You have to be like, oh, I'm working on such and such, which is this really great color. And, I guess if you supplement it with pictures, but.
That's true. One of our watchers makes donuts for a living.
I saw that.
That was awesome.
That would be kind of, I don't know.
It would be like, though, I worked at a pizza place for like 2 or 3 years when I was in college and like was not so keen on pizza for a while after that.
Yeah.
Because you're just like, ugh.
Well, so that's even me. Like, even if I make something, I can eat like a little bit of it, but then after that, I'm like, if I make a batch of cookies or something,
Yeah.
Like, I'll eat a couple, but then I'm like, okay, I'm cookied out.
Yeah.
Because after handling everything
Yeah,
and stuff
true.
like that, I don't know. It's funny.
We had quite a few people that were not having any stale donuts ever, which is... Oh, and I think Krispy Kreme was also in the running. We don't have one here. I don't think I've actually ever eaten Krispy
I have not
Kreme.
either.
People swear
Tim
by
Hortons.
them. Yeah, Tim Hortons.
That's,
That was another popular one.
Yep.
Lots of loves all donuts. There was a pistachio donut that somebody mentioned. That sounded awesome. I love a good pistachio. Pistachio ice cream is one of my favorites. It's not always easy to find.
I was so I like the Great British Bake Off. And that so we get CBC, the CBC's channel, since we live so close to the border, and they have some good programming.
Yeah.
And they do a lot of stuff like our PBS does.
Right.
And so I was watching that, and they were doing, oh my gosh, they had Italian night on I'm sure it's syndicated, so I don't know if it was a really current one or not, but they were doing Italian night or Italian weekend or whatever their schedule was, but and they did cannolis, and one of them did like a pistachio something. I was like, oh my god.
We had somebody who said it was like trying to choose their favorite child.
I know, some of the responses were great.
So I think we had like 141 or 142 responses totally. Like, this is everybody right here in little tiny, because I told Excel to print to one page because I didn't want to waste a bunch of paper, and now I can barely read it.
Magnifying glass.
I know, I was like, that was kind of silly. So, all right, so the moment you've all been waiting for, the winner of the donut competition.
The yarn, do you have the skein so we can show it? This is the skein of yarn you were...
The freckled whimsy, which everybody was loving on. I think that's great.
And even if people didn't like it specifically for themselves, they're like, I have the perfect person who would love that.
I know, and it's not like I don't like this, I have stash acquisition beyond multiple life expectancies.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm gonna get
well, and sometimes your tastes change too. Like,
yeah.
You might have had something in mind for it when you got it, but then you're like, oh well, that was not exactly what I wanted to do.
I did, and I think I bought it as a part of a kit, and it came with a bag, and I wanted the bag, and I was like on the fence about the yarn.
Okay, that makes sense.
There might have been some of that happening. Anyway. So our winner, who is also a Boston Cream fan, is Jen Stack.
Oh, cool! Jen won. That's very cool.
Congratulations.
So Jen's the one that we've been talking about who's doing the boxy sweater.
Yep.
She's actually, I think, doing her second.
I know, she's super fast.
She's flying through it.
I have very pitiful progress on my boxy given the length of time we've been off. So Jen, I actually don't know if we have your address on file or not.
I don't know if we do either.
But get in touch with Kelly or myself with your mailing address, and we will pop this in the mail for you. So congratulations.
And thanks to everybody for telling us what their favorite donut was, and congratulating us on our 100th episode.
Yes, it was great.
That was fun.
I was going to throw that on the floor, but I don't think that's a good idea. So I hadn't cleared this with Kelly, and maybe we should wait until the regular podcast to talk about it, but we had so many good questions in the Ravelry thread. Kelly and I talked about doing a bonus episode and answering
a lot of the
questions in maybe a 1 or 2 part series, so I think that's what we're going to do. But we have some time, I think, in September where you're gone and you may not be able to jam in an episode, so
we might record it ahead of time when we do have time,
and then you might see those episodes come on some of these weeks where we can't manage to connect, just so an episode goes up. That's kind of what I was thinking. But yeah, we got a ton of questions.
Oh my god,
so many different questions.
You guys are really creative with your questions. I'm like, oh, that's a really cool one. That would be fun to talk about.
Yeah, some of them literally made me laugh out loud. And I was like, oh my god, the answer to that is going to be equally funny. So it's possible that even while answering some of those questions, that Kelly and I will learn new things about each other.
I know, it'll be fun.
Because I'll answer one question right now, which is, how long have we known each other? And we've actually only known each other, 5 years maybe?
Probably about 5 years.
Yeah. So there's a lot we don't know about each other.
Yeah, because William was...
He was 2-ish, I think.
I think, right around 2.
2. So, And he's 7 now. So, yeah,
That'd
that
be
sounds
about
about right.
right. Yeah.
And the store's been open for 3 years, so, yeah. Yeah. Wow. So, yeah, only like 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
But when you click with somebody, you click with somebody.
That's right.
Yeah. Yeah. It was love at first sight. Kelly's like, well, if you're going to put it that way, we might have to break up.
Hey, now, don't be putting words in my mouth.
Okay.
Come on.
All right. Should we get this showboat on the road? Puns? I'm still waiting for a pun.
I know, none have come to me yet. I've had a couple funny ones that when I was, chatting with Carol, so.
I deflated your pun machine.
I know, he took it right away.
Just sucked the life right out of it.
Oh boy.
All right.
I think Angela's a little punchy this afternoon.
That would probably be true.
Oh, let me move this
Oh.
before we officially start so that
Okay.
I'm not reaching across the screen. I'm disappearing off screen. I'm like, where'd you go? I'm like, where's show notes? I'm like, oh, right in front of me.
Right there.
Yeesh.
All right. We're gonna have a giggling fit. I can.
Mhm.
Okay. Boom. Boom. Dude, I have like these random bruises all over.
No.
I think that one's from the dog.
I've got one and there's on my arm too. It's almost gone now.
Random scratches. Dog.
Camping.
Camping. Yeah. Yep. Camping.
Look, my sweater matches my outfit.
Mine does kind of too. We're like matchy projects
Mhm.
to our clothes.
Right. My hair's doing funny things today. Wants to stick up. It's kind of windy out, so
Yeah, it's nice out there.
there. That's a little better.
All right. Are you ready?
Ready?
Okay.